All right, we got the lineup for tonight's game against the Seattle Mariners. DJ LeMahieu leading off. He had 3 hits last night. He is at second base. Aaron Judge is back out there in right field tonight. He had a big double yesterday. Gary Sanchez, over, the only starter in the lineup without a base hit yesterday. Giancarlo Stanton hit one off the facing of the upper deck. He is your DH. Luke Voit, 5 for 6 last night with 3 ribbies. He is at first base. Gleyber Torres back out there at shortstop. Apparently his hamstring feeling better. Last night's star shortstop, Gio Urshela, slides back over to third base. Brett Gardner out there in center field, and Tim LaCastro is out there in left field tonight, and Duhar gets the night off. Nick Nelson on the mound tonight. Nick Nelson has a good fastball, a good breaking ball, but he has struggled with his command as a Yankee in his career. Let's hope he can put it together tonight. Well, the Yankees have won 2 in a row. Last night was inarguably their best offensive performance of the season, but it's still way too early to get excited. The Yankees need a winning streak, and they need one now. And the only way that's going to happen is if the offense can be consistent. Last night was a good start, don't get me wrong. Giancarlo Stanton hit one in the upper deck. Luke Voit picked up 5 hits. DJ LeMahieu picked up 3 hits. And Miguel Andujar picked up a couple of hits and hit the ball hard several times. Aaron Judge had 2 hits and has looked better at the plate of late. Gary Sanchez was the only man in the starting lineup not invited to the party, did not collect a hit last night. Dan Rourke had an excellent observation on Twitter that since Judge's clubhouse meeting, the Yankees are averaging more runs than any team in baseball, over 7 per game. However, we must observe that it's only been 6 games, and that's a very small sample size. It's also worth noting that the Yankees are just 3-3 in that stretch. Also worth noting that the pitcher they faced last night was Justice Sheffield, who, at his best, is a below-average MLB pitcher, according to StatCast. He's also left-handed, so he's a good matchup for the Yankees. Better test would be how the Yankees fare in the remaining 5 games before the break. Another lefty on the mound for Seattle tonight, and then an average right-hander tomorrow in Logan Gilbert. Then the Yankees head to Houston. If the Yankees can somehow, some way, win all 5 remaining games before the All-Star break, they would be 48-41, and well within striking distance of a wild card berth at the least. But this is a do-or-die stretch for sure. Immediately after the break, the Yankees open up with 4 home games against Boston, then 2 against Philly, before playing both Boston and Tampa Bay on the road. If the Yankees are smart, they will try and load up on whoever they can get before they play those games against the Red Sox and Rays. But however this week pans out may very well dictate the strategy that Brian Cashman uses as he tries to get talent before the trade deadline. Before we get started, apologies if the stream cuts out a little bit. I'm running off a wireless, but I'm getting a direct connection, Ethernet soon, so that should help a lot. We got a storm incoming, so let's just hope we can make it through this stream in one piece. I'll be back in just a second, then we can talk about whatever's on your mind.
Are you listening?
Gentlemen, summer is here. Are you ready to unveil your beach bod? Well, you're in luck. Our friends at Manscaped just launched their 4th generation performance package, which includes the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right, the 4.0. Complement your summer bod with a trim from the leaders in male grooming. The sun is shining and calling your name, fellas. Join the 2 million men who trust Manscaped and get ready for hot guy summer by going to manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping with the code NYY Recaps. Manscaped is even throwing in 2 free gifts to their Performance Package 4.0, the Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. Bring your comfort and boxers to the next level. Once again, get 20% off and free shipping with the code NYY Recaps at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with NYY Recaps at manscaped.com. Escape the shrubs and weeds this summer and shine with Manscaped.
Hello?
How's it going, everybody? Hope you can all hear me well. So I saw somebody ask who's pitching tonight for the Mariners, and it's Yusei Kikuchi. Yusei Kikuchi. I say Kikuchi. He is 6-3 with a 3.18 ERA so far this season. 93 innings 93 strikeouts, 1.03 whip. So he's a better pitcher than the Yankees saw last night, at least this season. For his career, he's 14-18 with a 4.71 ERA, 302 innings, 256 strikeouts, slightly higher whip. So let's see what's on your mind. Giant Opinion Sports says we need Voit to look like last season. So last night was a good start, right? 5 hits, 6 at-bats. That's a pretty good ratio, right? 3 RBIs, really good night for him. I got to say, I would rather him keep hitting line drives all over the ballpark than swing for the fences every time. I get that he's one of the Yankees' most powerful hitters. He's one of the most powerful guys in all of baseball. But I like the Luke Voit who sprays the ball all over the ballpark. Danny Adorno says, Derek just logged on. Are the Yankees still a team? What's the latest? Well, they are still a team. Let's take a look at the latest standings because they're not pretty. They're not pretty. The Yankees are 9 games back. However, Boston has lost 2 in a row. The Yankees have a run differential of 0, which means they've scored as many runs as they have lost. So it's not looking great. They're 2 games above 500, but the Yankees do play Boston a lot and the Rays several times to open up the second half. So the Yankees can make up some ground, and I'm not convinced that Tampa Bay has the pitching to make it through the entire second half without any kind of injuries or anything like that. They don't have the resources to go out and get, a big name guy to fill in at the trade deadline either. So I think Boston is the team to beat in the American League East right now. They're playing incredibly. I would love to see the Yankees make a run here and at least make it interesting. We may not win this whole thing, but if you can get it within a couple of games, maybe get into the wild card, we can at least have some fun in the second half. Jesse Dominguez says, Yankee lineup needs to rake again tonight. 12 runs, please. I agree with you. That would be fantastic. Ryan Kim says, and Glasnow is out. Yeah, Glasnow has torn UCL. Let's see here. Danny Adorno says, what's our realistic trade targets? Well, we did hear a rumor that the Yankees plan to bid heavily on Jose Barrios of the Twins. That report coming from John Morosi. And we also, real quick, we have a super chat from Jesus Chavez. Says, Nick Nelson, we lost. All right, do you want I know you didn't love your sound. I didn't get a chance to redo it, so we're just going to do it anyway. Nobody messes with the Jesus. And then we got another one. John, I don't know if I can put this one. He says, starting Nick Nelson, Boone smoking. So Nick Nelson has great stuff, but apparently Domingo Germán, who was supposed to start tonight, had an emergency root canal. I've had a few root canals. They suck. And he's going to have a rough day. He's going to have a rough evening. But I think this is actually probably a good thing for Domingo Germán, not including his dental health. But he's looked worn out to me. His fastball has been sailing up and away. It hasn't been as sharp. His breaking ball has been spiked or left up, high, hanging. He's had trouble with the home run ball recently. I really think that he could use a day off, and I think that this will work out nicely. I think the Yankees should just skip him in the rotation between now and the All-Star break. Give him 10 days to rest and let him come out really strong in the second half. Ulysses Leon asks a great question. He says, is Germán a victim of not having sticky stuff? I think there's a lot of victims of not having sticky stuff. I think that, obviously, I put out a video today on Garrett Cole, and I love Garrett Cole, and I think he's going to be a great pitcher for the Yankees, but he's not the same guy without the sticky stuff. And to say that he is just cognitive dissonance. You're just ignoring reality. The guy's spin rate has been down, home runs have been up, walks have been up, strikeouts have been down, and I get you. It's been 5 weeks or whatever. But you can tell he doesn't pass the eye test right now or the analytical test. And then you've got Aroldis Chapman. Has not been good since the crackdown. Really, really bad, in fact. And then you got Domingo Germán. I think he's just a tiredness issue. I don't think he's one of the sticky stuff guys. I think because of the situation that he had, I think he's kind of really towing the line. And I don't think that he was probably using much. He might have been, but I think he was probably as much between the lines as anybody over the last few months. Luke ES, or Luke WS, whatever, sorry, says, did you see CC Sabathia is releasing a book? Yeah, I actually emailed his company to see if he wants to come on the podcast to promote it, and I haven't heard back, but it's called Till the End. I actually really liked his documentary. Jesus says, I like it. Thanks, Derek. I like it too. Nobody messes with the Jesus. I'm not sure if you understand that line, where that comes from. There's a movie called The Big Lebowski. It's a bowling movie, kind of. It's kind of about more than just bowling, but it's a really great film by the Coen brothers. And there's a guy in there. He's a bowler. He's played by, what's his name? I don't remember, but he's in a lot of stuff. He's a big Yankees fan too. He played Billy Martin in The Bronx is Burning. I can't recall his name right now, but he plays this guy named Jesus, and he goes, nobody fucks with the Jesus. And so that's where it comes from. Florida Sun says, pick up Eaton for a try as a left-handed bat to play the outfield. Hey, look, he's been DFA'd. Adam Eaton has been DFA'd. He's not the same player that he was, or he wouldn't have been DFA'd. I would rather give Hoy Jun Park a shot. All he does is rake in AAA. All he does is rake. He also walks a lot. And I had a little thing on the morning show this morning about a post from Dan Federico that says basically the Yankees don't believe in him analytically. They're looking at the advanced metrics. They don't like his exit velocity. They don't like his jumps in the outfield. They just don't like him. And so they're not giving him a shot, even though he's performing, which I find absurd. There's also some issues with his work visa because he's part of the South Korean military. And I think there's some issues there, and I don't really fully understand it, so I don't want to speak too much to it. Let's see. Ulysses says, do you think trading Cole now would be a good idea? Well, one, no, I don't, because the Yankees don't have anybody better than him. He's got the best arm on the staff. And two, I think that, with the sticky stuff or whatever, he's just going to have to relearn how to pitch without it. That's why you pay Matt Blake. That's why you pay him to study, the shapes of pitches and to basically figure out, how to get these guys on track without the sticky stuff. That's why you pay him. Jesse Dominguez likes the Adam Eaton idea, says he would be a good addition for the Yankees. Let's Go says, Nick Nelson, why? So I mentioned it earlier, Domingo Germán out with a root canal. Steven Bat says, you mean the big Lewandowski. So it was funny, in high school, the guys called me Lebowski because nobody could say Lewandowski. And on a baseball field, they always call you by your last name or a nickname. And so I became Lebowski. Jack Wagner says, but they love Odor. That's a really great point, Jack. I don't know who's doing these analytics, but I think they forgot to carry a 1 somewhere. Daryl Leon says, please let Urshela play shortstop and send Gleyber to second base. Maybe he can regain his offense. That's not a bad comment. I'm going to give you the applause. When I give the applause, it's not just for good comments. It's because you beat me to a point that I wanted to make. I think that Urshela looks really, really good at shortstop. And the fact that they're playing him there more suggests to me that they're comfortable with him there. And he made a great play last night to end Jamison Tyon's outing deep in the hole. That was a Jeter throw. It was actually even better than a Jeter throw because he threw across his body. Jeter would at least get up and create some torque. So I like the idea. But with Luke Voit in the lineup, that means that you'd have to sit him because you'd have to slide DJ LeMahieu over to first or put DJ LeMahieu over at third base, I guess would work too. So yeah, I guess you could do it. I guess you could arrange it that way. DJ at third, Gio at short, Gleyber at second, Voit at first. I would do that. I like that. Applause again. Darth Wacko says, by the way, I love that name. I chuckle every time I see that. Darth Wacko. The Yankees should have never dealt James Caprillion to the A's. What a bad deal. So James Caprillion, you might notice he's got kind of a funky arm motion too. I don't think he's going to last long term. He's kind of like Clark Schmidt. He's got really bad mechanics and, pretty upper level stuff. But, he's had some elbow issues and he's coming together with he's fulfilling his potential with the A's. I'm happy to see it. Sonny Gray, of course, never worked out. He was a guy who actually complained and badmouthed the Yankees in the news. He basically said that the Yankees wanted him to throw his slider more. He doesn't like to throw his slider. They try to change him in all these different ways. And he's like, dude, just let me throw my game. And they screwed him all up. And then they overcorrected. And then he badmouthed the team. And then Brian Cashman came out and said that he was going to trade him. And then he did. And then he was better elsewhere, which tells me that Sonny Gray was right. Which also tells me that the Yankees don't really know what they're doing with these analytics and these, I don't know, all the analytical stuff. Rundown says this analytics group is a joke. What is Hoy Jun Park supposed to do? Call him up, give him a chance. What more can he do to prove he is ready to be called up? Hey, maybe he could strike out more. Maybe he could, swing and look down the right field line when he's swinging more and just look terrible. Maybe if he did that, the Yankee scouts would like him better. Maybe if he booted some balls on defense or didn't hustle out of the box. Super chat from Ehan the Plug says, thoughts on Jason Dominguez in the Futures game. First of all, we're going to get the dono hype. Thank you. I'm really looking forward to Jason Dominguez. That's going to be a must watch. I'm going to try and do a watch party for that. I don't know that I'm going to be able to get it on my phone. I hope that MLB will show it. I also hope that I have power because there's a storm coming through here tomorrow, a hurricane that's supposed to pass right over my house. So I'm going to do morning Yanks in the morning and hopefully nothing will happen, but I'm not planning on any kind of post-game show or any kind of pre-game show for tomorrow afternoon's game. So you'll get Morning Yanks, which, by the way, tell me how if you guys watch that, what do you think of the new format so far? These pre-games, it's just a lot less work for me, and it allows me to provide high-level content for my most important pieces, which I feel like the game reaction and the highlights and me commenting on the highlights and all that stuff, I feel like it's the more important content. That's what people really care about. And so why not do that in the higher quality in the morning so that way I don't have to stream it and have the internet cut out or have my face turned blurry for 5 minutes. So that's one of the reasons I did it. I also, sometimes if the Yankees lose, I just don't feel like doing it. But I always feel like it in the morning. I always wake up early and I'm always ready to go, refreshed, drink my coffee. And a lot of times I'll sit down. I like to meditate before work. I'll sit down and I'll start meditating and something comes to me and it's a Yankees thing. And I'm just like, I'm like fidgeting and I can't finish my meditation. I got to come over and work on it. So, I hope that you guys are enjoying this. I think it's going to be a good, so we're apparently getting Riley. Stop saying the same thing. He keeps saying we need Jose. Let's go ahead and put him in timeout. We're going to go ahead and do that. No spamming, folks. We don't need to really post the same thing over and over again. It gets annoying to the other people in the chat. Let's see. So CCR is a fan. So Yankees Gameday was the original morning show, and I would sometimes release it 24 hours before the game. But I'm basically keeping all the same content. I'm just reorganizing it and changing the names and keeping some of the names and just shifting them around. So my live stream is Yankees Game Day, but you're still going to get those prefab Yankees Game Days on occasion when I feel like doing it or when I don't feel like going live. If there's bad weather and I anticipate bad internet problems, which happens a lot of times with bad weather, then I'll go ahead and do a pre-made show. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. So we got a birthday here. I didn't see it. Deirdre Keys, happy birthday, Bear. Let's see the birthday.
Happy birthday!
Chip says, how do we direct Dono? I have one of the mods explain it. So one thing you can do is you can use the super chat and just, I feel uncomfortable even talking about it. You can use the super chat function, or you can go to my Patreon. I have a new Patreon. I posted the first Patreon only vlog this morning. I'm going to do a vlog every Wednesday and every Sunday. And then I'll do a once a month podcast that's basically 40 minutes of me talking, and not just about baseball. It's called Derek on Deck. But I'm going to do that once we get some people to subscribe at that level. But it's going to be basically a really fun way to get involved beyond just this channel. Let's see. I'm seeing a few questions. Adam Frazier or Kyle Gibson for a trade? Hey, how about both? How about double your pleasure, double your fun? I love both of those guys. Adam Frazier is probably my favorite of those two, but I would take either of them. RTVX0, I hope I said that right, says Ketel Marte. So Ketel Marte was the guy that I pushed for a long time ago, like a month ago. However, he's had some hamstring injuries, and I think he went back on the injured list. The Ulysses Leon says, when I get back from Cuba, I hope the Yankees will be closer to Boston. Well, I wish you a bon voyage, and I hope you have a wonderful trip. Let's see. Don't get lost in the Bermuda Triangle. Let's go, says he wants Kyle Gibson. And you can't argue with Kyle Gibson. Jackson Raisback says Frazier by a mile. Yeah, I mean, and then also Brendan says they're not trading him. So you've got to keep in mind that these teams don't want to give us their players, right? They don't want to just deal whatever. They don't want to deal their best players because their fans will stop coming to the game. So nobody's itching to help the Yankees. Let's see. Daniel Milo says, it's my birthday soon this month. Can I have the birthday noise? Of course you can. Let me find it.
Happy birthday!
Jackson says, Diamondbacks say they're not trading Ketel. Hey, it is what it is. I don't blame them. All right, guys. Maddie T says, what happened to Herman? We mentioned that earlier. Emergency dental procedure, root canal. All right, guys, I'm going to log off because I'm getting on with Patrick Hennessy on Unhinged New York in about 8 minutes. And I need to grab a quick drink of water and kind of get situated, get all set up for that. So join me on the Unhinged New York or Unhinged Yankees. I can't remember. He's got two of them. Unhinged Yankees, I think it is. For the 643 DP podcast. I got one more little screen to send you. And then we've got a new outro. And then I'll see you tomorrow. All right, let's see if we can get it going.
Yo, all rise, gunning for the winning position. No kidding, I'm bringing the venomous sound when I'm around. It's the power like cold, throwing up your ball, leave you with smoke. No, you know, no slacking when the cracking hits.